Hello, everyone. Thanks for attending today's event. I'm Tom Moniak with Digital Nirvana, and I'm very excited to be here today to discuss the latest capabilities and benefits of AI-based speech-to-text tools and how they're being used to accelerate the delivery of transcriptions, captions, subtitling, metadata generation, tagging, and the enhancement of associated media assets. For those unfamiliar with Digital Nirvana, here's a quick introduction.
Innovation at work. Our knowledge management technologies empower organizations worldwide to create content, automate the generation of captions, subtitles, and metadata, as well as monitor the delivery of electronic media. Digital Nirvana creates solutions for the media, investment banking, education, media monitoring, and financial markets. Our vision is to reinvent how people share knowledge, mine insights, and bring inspiration and innovation to customers. We deliver innovative knowledge management solutions for customers worldwide to resolve difficult business challenges and enable rapid and profitable growth. Digital Nirvana leverages artificial intelligence and machine learning to automate speech-to-text and video intelligence for content classification, compliance logging, and generation of metadata for customers in news, sports, entertainment, and content delivery, such as Netflix, Quibi, and others. With more than 2 decades of industry experience, Digital Nirvana's Trance and MetadataIQ solutions address the needs of today's media companies by harnessing best-of-breed video, audio, and AI technologies to deliver new levels of speed, creativity, quality, and insight. Our customers produce better content faster and more efficiently using our solutions. We help them quickly solve problems and remain ahead of the competition in this era of massive and ongoing change. Our portfolio of services offers a combination of both technical and human expertise, providing best-of-class service. Digital Nirvana delivers high-impact results for organizations of all sizes across the globe.
Today, we'll focus on 2 of our automated solutions, Trance and MetadataIQ, and how these solutions are accelerating delivery and production timelines. Both solutions apply AI and machine learning to existing workflows to accurately auto-generate text of live and historical assets. Trance supports automation for transcriptions, captions, and subtitles to predefined delivery specs. MetadataIQ uses the same core technology and indexes transcript metadata with the corresponding media assets within the Avid Interplay and Media Central environments. So we're first going to talk about Trance and how it's currently being used. It's a purpose-built SaaS-based application that Digital Nirvana developed for our own internal use to support our clients' needs. We used it to deliver turnkey services for transcriptions, captions, and subtitling. It allows our team to consistently deliver the most accurate deliverables much faster. We can deliver finished transcriptions and captions in the same day and subtitles as fast as 24 hours. Trance is commercially available today, and one other user of Trance is a well-known Hollywood video tabloid. And you know, they have to get things out fast to spill the freshest tea. Or at least that's what my wife always says. So sure, I can tell you it's fast, but I'd really like to just take a quick look at some real use case applications. One example is the most extensive media enterprise in the Spanish-speaking world. They had a challenge. They needed a more fast, efficient way to generate their subtitles and timecode accurate sidecar files in English and multiple languages. They have a massive archive and newly produced premium high content coming out all the time. So all of this is natively produced in Spanish, and it needs to be conformed to global OTT platforms for delivery all over. Solution: generate transcripts and captions in Spanish and English with Trance. It's a typical, using some preset parameters, they can now produce a typical 1-hour program and process it in under 2 hours. And this meets all of their OTT delivery requirements. Another broadcaster that uses our tools is a major tennis association. Their challenge was captioning was taking hours and hours and hours, and they really wanted to get clips out to their website as fast as they can. They were using a cut and paste method, entirely humid, just took too long. Solution: we introduced them to Trance. They can now cut their turnaround time for an average video from hours to only 30 minutes. With the captioning task completely offloaded from the technical team, and they get to focus on other more interesting things. And it's automatically published to their website. And the last example that I'll share today is a popular Hollywood video tabloid. So they had contractual obligations to submit content in a really small window. They had to include closed captions, and they had to deliver within 90 minutes from the time of acquisition to the time the content would be published. Using Trance, they leveraged 3 of the major capabilities. Obviously, the speech to text, and they used that to apply advanced AI-based algorithms to automatically generate transcripts and the raw production footage. That allowed them to find it very quickly, and half of that work was already done for the delivery. Then, as mentioned, the automated caption generation. Immediately output the closed captions based on style guides, and it enabled the users to confirm compliance without any additional requirements. In addition to those 2 basic functions, there's a lot of control and flexibility that it afforded the team. And they're actually today now using it for different purposes, and kind of has sort of expanded. Ed, do you care to comment on some of the ways in which they're using this?
I'd be happy to, Tom. Hello, everyone. This is Ed Hauber, also from Digital Nirvana. And as Tom was just mentioning, this client of ours using Trance has adapted the tool to expand beyond just the captioning requirement that Tom was referencing, and are now using it in addition to those functions as really a form of metadata generation to help users to create context and perspective around this field content that comes in. As Tom alluded to, this client is very routinely taking in large volumes of really undocumented content with no context, and still needing to turn this content around very, very fast. And so the speech to text capability and expertise of Digital Nirvana gives them a near real-time conversion of incoming content and providing them with a transcript of those assets that they can use through the editorial process to search and retrieve and produce content, not just caption it, but actually produce content much faster than they would do typically in their traditional workflow. So not only can Trance be used for just transcriptioning and captioning and even subtitle/localization, but it can serve as a very functional metadata tool in the form of the transcript asset itself. And then our ability to, if we choose to, index those assets, that metadata in the form of transcripts back to the media, which, Tom, I'll toss back to you. I think is probably a segue into the next segment of our presentation.
Yeah, you're right, Ed. Great segue. We're going to move from Trance to talk about Metadata IQ. I personally think that Metadata IQ is kind of Trance on steroids. Does a whole lot more. And Ed is not only our product expert on Metadata IQ, but he has over 30 years of experience with media broadcast tech. Ed, you want to take over here?
Sure. Thank you, Tom, again. So transitioning out of Trance and expanding sort of, as Tom described, into Metadata IQ is really exciting. As he just mentioned, Metadata IQ is sort of an expansion to what was discussed earlier within the Trance segment. Metadata IQ is also different and functions ideally, and in this case, with regard to our client application, as an intermediary layer of software that connects three different areas or areas of function in terms of this broadcast workflow. So as Tom explained, and you're learning about Digital Nirvana, we have expertise in metadata generation. So in this case with Metadata IQ, it connects the workflow of real-time transcript generation. It doesn't have to be real-time, but in this use case with this client that Tom references, which happens to be a major domestic news and entertainment network, we take incoming feeds, upwards of 100, in this case, real-time 24/7 live news feeds, and we're able to, in the cloud, process those feeds in real time. These are live growing files through our speech-to-text process, again, which Tom described in detail as part of Trance. We're able to do that in real time, and then using Metadata IQ, we can index those assets, the metadata assets in the form of transcript data, along with the media, back into the Avid Interplay environment, such that in, again, real time, producers and editors within that Avid ecosystem can now access content, again, that was previously without context, without perspective, that was much less actionable, much less searchable, and make that content, again, much more profoundly important and available, and accelerates by way of combining these assets in an automated fashion that's completely hands-off and indexes them back into Avid. It really empowers editors and producers to turn around content in the fastest time possible with the greatest ease and the least amount of difficulty. And again, takes content that was really somewhat disconnected, very difficult to search through from a manual traditional perspective, and again, makes it much more actionable in the shortest time possible. And in this particular client's case, again, we're talking about upwards of 100 real-time feeds that now have exponentially become much more visible and much more accessible, and is really empowering and completely revolutionizing the way this particular client is producing news content. So it's very, very exciting, and Metadata IQ is the tool that makes all that happen.
That was a great synopsis. If you have any further questions, please do reach out to us at www.digital-nirvana.com. Thank you again so much for having us. Really appreciate it.